Look, if you're coming here thinking that we're going to be able to provide you with some kind of ultra in-depth analysis of the Kendrick Lamar and Drake battle that's been playing out over the past, well, month now or so, then we're sorry to disappoint, because this is, of course, way outside of our wheelhouse. Not that it's overly complex, but the backgrounds, the drama, rumors, interpersonal as well as business relationships, celebrity gossip, record label drama, and so on make this a rap beef that it's so wrapped up in minutia that we have no business trying to explain it all, because many people have already done it better. They've done it more thorough, and they've done it through a lens of constant engagement in the hip-hop scene and the drama surrounding these artists for the past 15 years or so. One thing that I think both of us can agree on, though, and we did agree on before even this beef went nuclear, was that regardless of what they're fighting about, we think that Kendrick Lamar is a much better artist overall.
Yeah.
Now, when the first hints of this latest battle started bubbling up online recently, I mean, all I could think was, why would Drake want to go up against Kendrick Lamar?
He has a Pulitzer Prize.
It sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah.
But hey, turns out he wanted to anyway, and I think it ended up being a bad idea based on what we've seen so far. Now, having said that, everything could have changed by the time this video goes up.
Yeah, that's the thing about this. You're asking us to cover something we're not really all that knowledgeable about, and also a story that is just constantly changing.
Yes. Minute by minute.
New songs are being uploaded every 12 hours.
Yeah, it's
don't have time
there's
for
a lot
this.
going on.
So yeah, we're just gonna gloss over the whole thing and try our best to point out the most significant things that have happened over the past few days, specifically over the weekend, that turned this drama into arguably the biggest rap beef since the 1990s, which we should remind you did not end well for almost anyone involved.
Mm-hmm.
It was bad. A lot of shining bright stars were extinguished way too young.
Yes.
But still, it's impossible to deny just how massive and widespread this weekend's audio assault really was, because you had two of the biggest names in hip-hop attacking each other with increased ferocity over the course of multiple diss track drops, each one becoming more devastating than the last. Tens of thousands of tweets, hundreds of reaction videos, dozens of streamers reacting live as new tracks were being dropped online at seemingly random times, all taking place inside of a social media arena with multiple fan bases going at it for hours with still no end in sight.
Having said that, a new diss track, or hell, 4 new diss tracks could drop while we're filming or editing this video. So there is no way for us to be fully updated on what's going on because of the nature of how we do videos. So instead, we're just gonna give you a somewhat brief overview of how we got here, why this is happening, and what these two artists are claiming about one another in these songs. Apparently, the feud started all the way back in 2013, which is the first time that Kendrick called Drake out on a song, and the song was called Control. And then Kendrick calls out a handful of rappers by name and basically says he's gonna crush them all. He wants to be the best in the game.
Yeah,
so get out of his way.
It's pretty normal rap shit, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty lighthearted, especially compared to the tracks this past weekend. And no one mentioned in the lyrics seemed to care all that much publicly, except for Drake, who apparently took that personally.
He took that personally.
Since he'd taken Kendrick out on a tour the year before that track dropped. So he was probably just like, hey man, what the hell?
Not cool, very uncool, very ungrateful. Kendrick Lamar. You take him out on a tour. What does he do?
Then he says he wants to be the best in the rap game.
No, I'm sorry, Kendrick. There's already a best, and it's me, Aubrey Drake. What's his last name?
Graham?
Graham. The wheelchair kid from Degrassi.
That's right.
Again, you're gonna bear with us on this if we gloss over or just outright miss important parts of this story or the context of it. But again, there's so many video essays out there with hardcore fans with like PhD level knowledge about all this. So if you want something incredibly lengthy and in-depth, the search bar is right up there.
Yeah.
Trust me. But yeah, both artists took shots at each other on their respective albums a few years after that initial diss. But to the outside world, this just seemed like, again, standard harmless beef between two big artists.
So maybe even manufactured. Because up until recently, it just was generic kind of name calling and calling people out.
Now, if you do go check out other analysis of this feud, there are a ton of bumps along the way with drama related to production, relationships, record labels, alliances within the industry, and so on. But let's just fast forward to the impetus for this latest battle. the 2023 release of a Drake track featuring artist J. Cole called First Person Shooter, where he delivered the relatively innocuous line, "Love when they argue the hardest MC. Is it K-Dot, is it Aubrey, or me?"
So, oh wow, ooh, shots fired. Oh wow, oh.
Didn't he also say he followed that line up with being like, "We're all great, we're the big three."
Yeah.
Like, I think it's great that we're all making great rap music. But Kendrick, he took that personally.
Yeah, Kendrick responded to this on a track alongside Future and Metro Boomin, where he simply stated, "Motherfuck the big three, it's just Big Me." Which again, it seems pretty tame, all things considered.
Yeah.
Especially for a rap beef between the genre's biggest artists. Nevertheless, it persisted, and a few months later, J. Cole would release a track called 7 Minute Drill on a mixtape with the ultimately prophetic title, Might Delete Later.
Because he did.
Yeah, in this track, more specifically the part about Kendrick, J. Cole does a quick review of Lamar's discography, which isn't even that hard of a dig. He praises some of the albums that he's talking about, but complains about Kendrick's release schedule and that it's lacking. There's too many years here. You gotta release more stuff. When I would say, if I was looking at an artist's collection, whether it's movies, albums, or whatever, that sometimes taking your time between releases is a good thing.
Sometimes you gotta do less.
Yes.
We're not all King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. And even them, I'd appreciate if they slowed down a bit, just for, my own sanity.
Yes. Well, like we said about the title of J. Cole's mixtape being prophetic, J. Cole would quickly go ahead and take down the track and essentially issue a full apology for releasing it.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, he did so on stage during his music festival, Dreamville, saying that dropping the track was, quote, spiritually bad on me, and adding the following.
I tried to jab Lamar back, and I try to keep it friendly, but at the end of the day, when I listen to it, and when it comes out and I see the talk, that don't sit right with my spirit. That disrupts my peace. And then praising Kendrick's work and getting support for Kendrick from the crowd during his sort of apology.
Yeah.
Which, very, emotionally mature. Just like, wait, what am I doing?
I don't get caught up in this. We all love Kendrick, right, folks? And then the whole crowd's like, yes, we do. We do love Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, I'm good. You know what? I'm going to happily put this behind me. Can't wait to move forward and never hear about this again.
Yeah.
Until...
So yeah, he also alluded to the fact that he'd been under pressure to respond and call out Kendrick from his inner circle and how he deeply regrets the decision to make and release the track.
Yeah.
Whoops, oh well. He accidentally sparked a new war that would eventually result in actual accusations of criminal activity and grooming between two of the biggest artists in modern music. So the J. Cole track, subsequent deletion, and Dreamville performance, they all happened over the course of a couple days, early last month. But things only really started cooking last week. And I can think of two websites in particular who are absolutely loving all the traffic associated with this. Genius.com, the lyrics website, and the platform formerly known as Twitter. This beef was so massive that despite having absolutely nothing of substance to add to the conversation, Elon Musk still acknowledged it in the dorkiest way possible, saying, "Everyone is talking about this battle." And also, saying they should do a rap battle on Twitter Spaces.
Yeah.
Shut up, dork.
Yeah.
Literal fucking NPC response.
Yeah, I think it was it
I feel
Felix
like Linda
Biederman?
is rubbing off on him.
I think, was it Felix Biederman who said, this is the kind of thing that a Saints Row pedestrian would say when they walk by?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's talking about this battle. Amazing. So, anyways, a few days after J. Cole released and deleted 7 Minute Drill, Drake decided to throw caution to the wind and take direct aim at Kendrick on a track called Push-Ups, where he basically said that Kendrick is just nowhere close to his level, and then pokes fun at Kendrick Lamar's height.
I didn't realize how small he was.
Yeah.
That makes me like him more.
And also comments on how Kendrick is lame for working with pop artists, which is very odd because Drake is very close to being just a straight up pop artist in his own right.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all heard Drake songs. We've all heard Kendrick songs. It's pretty clear who's putting out stuff that is intentionally catchy and who's putting out stuff that is simply undeniably good. Maybe that's personal preference. We'll leave it to you.
Yeah.
But not to go on a complete tangent, nothing Drake has ever done will live up to the audience reaction anytime Kendrick has performed Mad City live. It's just, I'm sorry. I've seen him live. It was one of the best rap performances that I've ever seen. And if you need some impartial proof, just look at the time that he performed at South by Southwest and the audience broke the goddamn dance floor when that track came on.
Yeah. I don't hear about Drake breaking any floors.
So I'm sorry, but there's no way for us to not seem biased in this conversation. It's just so one-sided.
Yeah.
Also, we live in Los Angeles, California, folks.
Yeah, we do have to rep the home team a bit. Sorry, Canada. You got Drake. We've got Kendrick Lamar and about 100 other rappers.
Yes.
But yeah, Drake drops that song, Push Ups, and then a few days later drops another track called Tailor-Made Freestyle, where he once again references Taylor Swift, but also inexplicably decided to use artificial intelligence to have Tupac and Snoop Dogg rap on the track, and also inexplicably brought up accusations that Drake was being weird with underage women. This was Drake bringing up his own accusations.
Through the voice of the long-deceased Tupac Shakur.
Yeah. Everybody disliked that. So you remember that this is a Drake track. It wouldn't be the first time that he would have to defend himself from these accusations. But it's specifically weird that he used an AI Tupac to bring it up in what we can only imagine was an attempt to like get out in front of whatever Kendrick was cooking.
Like he knew that was gonna come up.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, I will certainly be taking all the wind out of Kendrick's sails by...
By the way, before you ask, not a pedophile. Anyways, yeah, Drake had to remove this track from official sources because, Tupac's estate got involved and understandably was like, what the fuck is this shit? Get it out of here. They issued a cease and desist against Drake for using his likeness in a song without permission. It was also weird that Drake used an AI version of Snoop Dogg on the track, considering Snoop Dogg is still very much alive and provided a very confused response to his artificial inclusion on the track. Here you go.
They did what? When? How? Are you sure?
This is especially funny too, because Snoop Dogg he's the Danny Trejo of rap music. He cannot say no to any invitation to guest on a track, any track.
Yeah, but I mean, he also from Southern California.
Yeah, he wouldn't have done this.
He wouldn't have done this.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it is.
But like just like on my Discover Weekly on Spotify, like there hardly a week goes by without a new track featuring Snoop Dogg. Similarly, Iggy Pop. I think that's the only thing keeping Iggy Pop like alive and healthy is that he just, anytime the phone calls, he's like, yeah, I'll do a verse on your song.
Iggy Pop has to stay in good shape because it is a contractual obligation that he perform with his shirt off.
Yeah, the man does not own a single shirt.
But also, yeah, bringing Snoop, like I know that Snoop Dogg has been not as edgy in the past decade or two.
Yeah.
But like bringing Snoop Dogg into this when his reputation from the 90s exists, like probably not the smartest move, but I don't know. Kendrick had the next move, however, releasing a track called Euphoria. And that was just last week, and it included digs at Drake's rumored failings as a parent, how he turns his blackness off and on when it benefits him, rumors regarding Drake getting plastic surgery, and then justifiably calling him out for using AI to resurrect a dead rapper. A few days after that, but before Drake was able to upload a response to it, Kendrick released another track called 616 in LA. And that one was produced by Taylor Swift's producer Jack Antonoff, which would seem to indicate that Kendrick simply doesn't care about being called out for working with certain artists. In this track, he claims to have a mole inside of Drake's crew who is feeding him insider information to use against him, a claim that Drake would eventually use against Kendrick in subsequent releases. Are you exhausted yet?
Yes.
No, you're not. At least I hope not,
I
because later that night, Drake dropped another track that seemed like it would be his kill shot against Kendrick, if such a thing were even possible.
Yeah, so on Friday night, Drake dropped Family Matters, which among many other accusations, claimed that one of Kendrick's kids isn't actually his and alluded that it might be his manager's child. Also that Kendrick abused his partner, cheated on her, and that Kendrick was the one behind Tupac's estate issuing a cease and desist for the other track. Within just a few short hours of the release of Drake's Family Matters, another diss track hit the internet when Kendrick dropped Meet the Grams, which fed into the idea that maybe Kendrick did have a mole in Drake's inner circle because they were thematically consistent. In Meet the Grams, Kendrick pulls no punches, he directly addresses Drake's son and other members of his family, including an apparent second, Mr. President,
A second
secret love child that Drake apparently fathered. Now, in this track, Kendrick starts to go after Drake for being a predator, but if this song was just alluding to all of that, the next one would be Kendrick's version of the proverbial kill shot.
Yeah. Now, we should probably start this song's explanation with an explanation, though we will keep it brief because at the end of the day, they are talking about sexual abuse and the potential abuse of minors. But Drake has a pretty shaky past when it comes to his involvement with girls who are young.
Dude, yeah, there is over a decade of receipts, and it is all very uncomforting.
Yeah, it includes a very famous incident where Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things, who was 14 years old at the time, spoke to press about her and Drake were texting all the time and how he was giving her advice regarding boys and stuff like that.
You're pretty mature for your age.
And listen, it might have been some strictly innocuous texting, but regardless of both of them being famous or whatever the excuse was made at the time, it is objectively fucking weird for someone that old to be texting with a 14-year-old, regardless of the context, unless it's like a very close personal family member.
Yeah, it's just, I cannot think of, like, he was like fucking 30 when this was going on.
Yes.
I cannot imagine being 30 years old and even just like having anything to talk about with a teenager,
It
a
is
14-year-old.
Bizarre. And now, in addition to that, the other very public situation that fueled previous rumors was when Drake brought a 17-year-old on stage, kissed her, and then made comments about her breasts. So,
And there's a couple other ones. There was like this one girl that like would like take her out on these what were essentially like dates, like buying up a whole restaurant to have a private dinner with this child. There's like a couple other ones of him, like photos of him with like teenage celebrities, like clearly like partying and stuff. They got their arms around him. I'm like, bro, like even if this was completely innocent, like
this does not come off looking well.
It doesn't come off that way.
Yeah, bad optics. But that leads us to Kendrick dropping Not Like Us. So the next track in the long line of tracks.
How many tracks are we at this point? 4? 5? Anyway, on this one, Kendrick uses the rumors to go after Drake's apparent proclivity towards young women, even crafting the artwork for the track to appear as though there are multiple sexual predator alert notifications located within Drake's compound. This track not only features arguably the best beat out of all these diss tracks, it also has some of the most insane and brutal lines about Drake in regards to what we just mentioned. Here's some examples, and listen, the real version's gonna sound a lot cooler than it is coming out of my mouth.
You've already heard it, and if you want to hear it, it's everywhere.
So here you go. Drake, I hear you like them young. You better not ever go to cell block 1. Why you trolling like a bitch? Ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor. You get that? That was very good. That's a solid line.
Yes, it is.
Because it's double meaning.
Well, yes, they get it.
You understand. But yeah, brutal, but nothing comes close to the line that really caught on, where he simply states, certified lover boy, certified pedophile.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And yeah, this one's especially weird because, yeah, there was some discourse about whether or not any of these tracks could be played in the club. And simply because of the beat on this one, it's undeniable that it would be a hit. But it has already resulted in videos of people playing it to crowds where some are screaming along with the verse, certified lover boy, certified pedophile, which is an objectively strange and unsettling thing for people to sing in public, regardless of the context.
It is very weird that this is like the button of the song.
Yeah.
It's the yak, yak, yak of this song.
Yeah, I wouldn't describe any of these tracks as party music, but hey.
Apparently they are. Apparently
catchy.
People are slipping them into, DJs have been playing them all weekend, and I think that'll probably continue. But yes, it is weird to see people, like, I would imagine the ultimate conclusion of this is it being played at a wedding and a bunch of white people singing certified pedophile dancing around at a wedding. It's just bizarre. At this point, there's no coming back for Drake. At least, I don't know. Everyone thought it was over. It's like, how do you bounce back from that kind of attack? Especially when there's at least some documented history of you being a little fucking weird.
Yeah.
Let's just say a little fucking weird. But then, what's that? Is that Aubrey Graham's music?
Oh my God! End it!
Yep, Drake hit back with The Heart, Part 6, where Drake tripped himself up by committing a bunch of unforced errors on a track that might have ended the beef without any need of response from Kendrick himself.
He gave himself his own kill shot.
Yeah. Now, on the track, Drake claims that he was the one who started the rumor about a secret daughter and then intentionally leaked it to Kendrick so that he would get caught lying about it or something.
Okay.
He then responds to the accusations of being a pedophile by saying, no, actually, he's not, because he would be in jail if he was. So take that as if that is somehow proof of innocence.
Okay. All right. Also, that his team was intentionally leaking information to Kendrick, but that would really make you wonder why Drake would intentionally start rumors about himself being a pedophile.
Aha!
It hurt itself in confusion.
Yeah.
I only made everyone think that I was a creep and a criminal. Wow, don't you all look stupid? Ha ha!
4D chess from Mr. Aubrey.
I'm gonna wheel away.
Yes.
Also, Drake brought up Millie Bobby Brown by name in his own track, unforced, again, specifically did not.
That's something that Kendrick did not do.
Yeah,
he didn't bring up Millie Bobby Brown by name.
Yeah, that made everyone wonder why the fuck he would do that to himself when no one else brought it up. People also pointed out that Drake said, Drake is not a name that you go and see on no sex offender list, and added that this would be accurate because a sex offender list would include Drake's actual name instead.
Yeah, people are like, yeah, I mean, that.
Yeah.
He really nailed it with that one because it would say Aubrey Graham.
Objectively correct. So this song also ends with what sounds like Drake raising a white flag and asking for peace, basically saying he's happy that he brought Kendrick back to life, that it was good practice, and he's winding down the battle because Kendrick is just telling lies or something.
Telling lies.
No, papa. But yeah, it's just like, okay, my work here is done. You're welcome, everybody.
Not only did you not do anything.
You all wanted new Kendrick Lamar songs? Well, thanks to me, Drake, you have them.
Yeah, there you go. So that, folks, is where we are as of the time that we started filming this episode.
Let me just quickly, okay.
Make sure that there hasn't been a new track halfway through this episode.
What is it, Champagne?
Poppy?
Champagne Pop? Is that his Twitter name?
I don't fucking know.
Fucking Christ. Drake.
You're never gonna.
Drizzy.
Drizzy, there.
Okay, so has Drake posted anything? Nope, the hard part.
Collaboration with Steak, wow. Cool.
And then, let's see, Kendrick Lamar. Not Ben Kendrick. Kendrick Lamar.
Nope.
Okay, so yeah, we are up to
We're
date.
good.
As of 8:48 p.m. Monday, May 6th.
Yes.
There has been no further
developments.
music.
Yes. So we'll end this whole big retelling of the story by saying that the general consensus online, this is without my opinion added to it, the general consensus seems to be that Kendrick won the battle, despite Drake releasing the last song and having the final word so far. Again, by the time this video goes up, there could definitely be at least 2 or 3 more tracks that have dropped, and all this would be old news. Also, for what it's worth, neither of us have really ever been Drake fans, but we've both been Kendrick fans. So if you're looking for impartiality, look elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, and that's for me. I like several of his songs. I'm not even sure I'd call myself a fan. I'm pretty much illiterate when it comes to rap music, but yeah, I mean, Kendrick's got a lot of tracks that I do like.
Yeah.
Drake, not so much. So yeah, that's my take. Not that it's worth anything, but there you go.
So anyways, that was a very long first story to cover, and we somehow have a few more to get to, but first, without wasting any more time, we have a sponsor today.
What?
Yes, great news. So let's thank today's sponsor, and then we'll get on with the rest of the show. Thank you, Yahoo Finance.
Yahoo!
For sponsoring today's episode. Wouldn't it be great if you could see all of your investment and retirement accounts in one place? Well, with Yahoo Finance, you can consolidate your views from multiple accounts into one hub and access the expert analysis that you need to tend to your entire portfolio with confidence. How the heck do you think Elliot keeps tabs on his 10 shares of Nvidia that he bought 5 years ago and refuses to sell? Well, Yahoo Finance.
That's right. Now let's get straight to the point. You want to grow your portfolio to deal with the rising costs of inflation, to pay off your debt or your mortgage, pretty much anything standing in the way of you and financial freedom, right? With Yahoo Finance, you can get access to the news, data, and tools that you need in order to help reach that financial freedom. For more than 25 years, Yahoo Finance has been the brand behind every great investor. Whether you're a seasoned investor or are looking for that extra guidance, Yahoo Finance gives you all the tools and data you need in one place. They are the #1 finance destination, producing a holistic look at the financial news cycle, including breaking news, original editorial perspectives, analyst ratings, independent research, customizable charts, and so much more. With a community of over 90 million users each month, their real strength is helping you on your way to financial success. For comprehensive financial news and analysis, visit the brand behind every great investor, yahoofinance.com, the #1 financial destination. yahoofinance.com. That is yahoofinance.com. No promo code or anything, just brand awareness, so
yeah, there you go.
Check it out.
Back to the news now, and we have a few updates for you from stories that we have been covering, and another potential crisis that's temporarily been averted. First, though, let's check in on Kristi Noem, who is somehow continuing to make things far, far worse for herself. Which seems like an impossible task, because this all started with a story that she told in her book about killing her 14-month-old dog because she didn't properly train.
Much like Drake. Just
unforced errors.
Unforced error, yeah.
So gotta say, it is kind of impressive that you can make things worse for yourself over the course of a week when the whole starting point was killing a dog. I think that when we last left off with Kristi Noem, she had claimed that liberals were attacking her and doing fake news about her killing her dog, and then claiming that actually the story's way different and you should definitely buy her book to find out what really happened. Obviously, it would have been easy for her to just address the audience directly, but she gotta sell those books. But I guess we're not gonna get the full unedited story because in the wake of all this pesky drama, the book has been edited before release. And it's not just the part about her dog. There are new things coming to light in this book.
Yeah.
So here's a note from her publisher.
At the request of Governor Noem, we are removing a passage regarding Kim Jong-un from her book, No Going Back, upon reprint of the print edition and as soon as technically possible on the audio and ebook editions. Further questions about the passage should be referred to the author. Okay, wait, what? What's this about Kim Jong-un? Well, apparently Kristi Noem, the governor of South Dakota, claimed to have met with North Korea's dictator Kim Jong-un. A claim that she so far hasn't denied and noticeably avoided giving a direct response to.
Before we get too far away, can we both just bask in the glory of the title of this book and how many times
going back.
How many times so far she has had to go back?
She has gone back on a lot of this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty bizarre watching the clips of her being asked about the supposed meeting with Kim Jong-un because she just says, well, she's gonna speak about her meetings with leaders when it would be really easy to just say, you didn't actually have a meeting with the North Korean dictator if actually that didn't happen.
Seems
you are
like
the
another
governor, like why would the governor of a state like that be visiting not just with world leaders, but with the leader of the most like hermetically sealed country on earth? This is like, if this happened, we wouldn't be hearing about it from this book.
It's in the same way that like she went on Hannity and was like, actually, the dog story, it's being blown out of proportion. Like, yes, I did kill my dog, but you're missing important context, and then just failed to give that when it would have been very easy to try to explain directly to the audience. It's that in the same way with the Kim Jong-un stuff, because she's like, they're like, well, did you meet with Kim Jong-un? Well, I'm not gonna talk about my meetings with world leaders.
Well, you did,
what?
though. You talked about it in your book.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Also, I feel
Clearly she did not write this book, which is interesting.
Also, I feel like without this specific news cycle, if like a week ago you had asked her, I don't know, an innocuous question about a meeting she had with like the Prime Minister of the UK or something, she'd be like, oh yeah, no problem. Had a meeting, great.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're specifically—
Liz Truss, me and Liz, BFFs.
We were talking about pork futures before you were born.
Yeah. It's a shame what they did to her.
Anyways, at this point, I am willing to believe that an intentionally planted story about Kim Jong-un is being used as a distraction from the dog killing stuff, because a state governor meeting with a dictator is still somehow less bad than killing your dog.
Yeah. Huh.
But it's—
So here's some quotes from Noem's appearance on Fox News recently. Host Jesse Waters asked,
I guess you said you met Kim Jong-un. Did you meet him?
I've been to the DMZ. I've been to North Korea. You know, I don't talk about my conversations with world leaders.
So you didn't have a conversation with Kim when you were at the DMZ?
I don't have conversations about my conversations with world leaders.
So maybe you did have a conversation with Kim, but you don't want to talk about it.
I will not talk about my personal conversations with any world leaders. It just won't, and I'm not going to do it.
so what's insane?
intentionally obtuse.
Yeah.
It's like, well—
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
This is a pretty serious implication here. Well, luckily for everyone, I've had that edited out of the book.
Yeah. You did talk about it before in the book.
Yeah, but then now you've deleted
Well, I
it.
broke my own rule about not talking about—
You see, this
conversations about conversations.
This is actually brilliant because the changes, apparently, according to the publisher, aren't going to happen for the first edition. So you better run out and get that first unedited,
V rare.
too hot for TV book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's insane about this is that it explicitly says in her book that she met with him. But she's claiming that this, and apparently certain parts of the dog story, were actually added later, but that would mean that she approved the book with those additions, or that she didn't read her own book at all, or that she thinks we're all just fucking stupid, because actually, yeah, she had read her book at least once because she recorded the audio narration of it, and even promoted the fact that she recorded the audio for her book. Or maybe that was just AI. Who knows?
She posted a picture of her in the VO booth.
Yeah, but
with the caption like, "Here I am recording my book."
All right, did you get it? Let's get the fuck out of here. I got dogs to kill. Get the AI. Get the AI on the
I got
job.
a meeting over at the gravel pit.
I got a lot of dogs to kill. I'm the John Wick of dog killing. Reverse John Wick.
But again, back to that dog, she has continued to dig her hole on that front as well, saying at one point that she would definitely kill Joe Biden's dog if given the chance. Because apparently in the book, she said the following conversation would occur. Commander, say hello to Cricket.
Oh, Commander's the name of Biden's dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she would also send that dog.
Commander did nothing wrong. Commander is only guilty of just viewing all cops as bastards and acting
Commander
accordingly.
cares too much
Yeah.
for the safety of his owner. Anyways, as we said, the book has now been edited. And other outlets like Newsmax, they're now wondering out loud if maybe all of this book stuff was just a secret liberal plot to add all this without her knowledge.
The editor, was she possibly a plant, a liberal plant? Because I'm not sure either one of these stories, the dog story, the North Korea story, seems like the Kristi Noem I know.
But despite her posting photos of her reading her own book for the audio release, we are meant to believe that this was somehow a plot against her.
I had no idea what was in this book that I just read out loud.
What an idiot. What a stupid mess that she willingly got herself into. You love to see it, honestly.
Yeah, also, like, up until this point, I'd seen pictures of her. I hadn't seen, like...
You didn't see her face on that NASCAR?
I hadn't seen her, like, in interviews. She is interesting looking. I don't know what to, like, compare it to, but there's evil in that face. A certain type of evil, like the kind of evil, like this woman, like.
Well, she has.
It's like she
admittedly killed dogs.
Yeah, she's got the vibe of like someone who like goes to church regularly, donates money to the church, but is and uses that as like a defense against all of her other evils. I'm just projecting here, but that's what I see when I look at Kristi Noem. Anyway, over in Trump updates.
Yeah.
We'll keep this brief, but Trump literally cannot help himself. He cannot stop yapping and finding himself in violation of the court's gag order, and has once again been fined $1,000 for doing so, which is a stupid fine that he does not care about. But also, it really seems like at this point he is intentionally violating the gag order so that he can get himself thrown in jail because he knows it'll actually benefit him because of the coverage.
Yes, they would be round the clock.
He loved how much that mugshot.
Yeah,
he sold a lot of great
he
merch
really
on
did.
that.
Yeah.
So let's get a second mugshot. Also, we assume that he thinks that it'll make him look like some kind of martyr to his weirdo followers.
Look what they did to me, your favorite president.
If they can do it to me, they'll do it to you.
Behind bars, I'm the only one standing between them and you.
So jail time is still technically, it's on the table if he continues, but it wouldn't be very substantial jail time and he would get exactly what he wants out of it. Proof that the deep state and the courts are out to get him. If he gets hit with jail time for this, it would be brief. He would not be treated like the other inmates. He probably wouldn't ever see other inmates. This would be a net benefit for him. And we think he realizes this. So it's either that or he's physically incapable of shutting the fuck up and is just preparing himself for what will inevitably happen. Anyways, here's the latest on his gag order violations from the Associated Press.
The judge presiding over Donald Trump's hush money trial fined him $1,000 on Monday and warned that future gag order violations could send him to jail, while jurors heard detailed testimony for the first time about the financial reimbursements at the center of the case. The testimony followed a stern warning from Judge Juan Merchan that additional violations of a gag order barring Trump from inflammatory out-of-court comments about witnesses, jurors, and others closely connected to the case could result in jail time. The $1,000 fine imposed Monday marks the second time since the trial began last month that Trump has been sanctioned for violating that gag order. He was fined $9,000 last week, $1,000 for each of his 9 violations. It appears that the $1,000 fines are not serving as a deterrent. Therefore, going forward, this court will have to consider a jail sanction, Merchan said before jurors were brought into the courtroom. Trump's statements, the judge added, threaten to interfere with the fair administration of justice and constitute a direct attack on the rule of law. I cannot allow that to continue. Trump sat forward in his seat, glowering at the judge as he handed down the ruling. When the judge finished speaking, Trump shook his head twice and crossed his arms. Trump shaking his head to let everyone know that he does not appreciate what that judge is doing.
No. Okay, yeah, so there was definitely more news out there, but we are going to end it there, and we will be back soon with another episode, and then you're not going to hear from us for
1 week.
1 week.
Yeah.
Actually, less than a week.
Less than a week. We're going out of town, and I'll be honest.
I don't want to pack a camera and film a show.
It's such a hassle.
Yeah, it sucks. So you'll just have to, I don't know, find something else to do.
For a couple of days.
Listen to some more diss tracks.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was waiting a little bit towards the end of this because at 7:30 tonight, they were supposed to launch that Boeing rocket, and I was like, look, I'm sure that things are gonna go absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But when you see the Boeing name on something now, especially a big rocket.
Don't trust it.
But that got scrubbed, so probably weather related. But they didn't launch the rocket yet, so. And it's supposed to be a manned mission.
Oh, also in other rap news, I believe we all owe Mr. Macklemore an apology. Was not familiar with his game, but he's like the only rap artist who is like really aggressively defending the pro-Palestinian cause. And the track he released today I was like, yeah, wow, okay.
Yeah, he spoke out about it a while ago. Unfortunately, he does have those pictures that kind of haunt his past, where he said it was just a costume to like disguise himself, but like it's hard to like.
It's unfortunate. Yes.
It's hard to just wipe that one away because it is so. It's such an outrageous costume. But yes, the track that he released is very good and important, and you should listen to it. I'm just saying that we're gonna get comments like, oh, you think Macklemore's so good? No, we're aware of the photos.
No, I think Thrift Shop is cringe. This is the first time I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, Macklemore.
But yes, we'll get to more news. We do have another episode coming up before we go on our trip to Washington, D.C., and we'll be back. You'll see that video within a day or two, but then we're going to be gone for a couple of days, and we'll be back.
We got to go protect Commander.
Yeah, from Kristi Noem.
I'm going to jump in front of Commander. I will take the bullet.
But anyways, make sure you like the video. If you haven't already seen our other videos from this weekend, we have a whole episode of Weekly Weird News. We have a whole episode about the student protests that have been happening over the past 2 weeks. Please check out both of those. And we will see you soon for some tech news and probably a bunch of other stuff thrown in there as well, because it will be the last episode of the week.
Yeah.
But we'll be back next week, so don't be confused. All right, bye.
Bye.